Welcome back to We Hear You. Ideas, inspirations, insights, all brought to you by SME Bank. And today, of course, once again, we're back in conversation with an entrepreneur who's really set the sweet scene ablaze. Yes, I know it's kind of a weird combination of words, but that's exactly what she's done. She's turned her grandmother's recipe book into an empire. So we're going to find out more about how she's done that. I know we've spoken to a host of entrepreneurs, some from the savory world of food and steaks and restaurants. And we've also spoken to individuals in the very healthy side of things. But this is comfort food, pure comfort food that we're going to address today. We've got Arani, the CEO and founder of Gula Cakery. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me today.
Welcome
I feel
aboard.
honored.
We're honored to have you. So, Gula Cakery, how did you get started? Am I right by saying your grandmother's recipe book got turned into an
Yes.
empire?
Okay, so basically, I started cooking when I was small. So at the age of 5, dah start masak roti jala dah
Oh,
with
roti
my
jala.
grandma. Okay, so when I was 18, I was already doing small baking for my university friends. So I was 18 and then I went into university in Sagi University. I have bachelor's in early childhood education. So I'm a teacher. Right, so I teach kids at the age of 4 to 6. Lepas tu dah start baking bagi friends every day for free. So at one point, so my friends were like, "Are you going to start selling them?" So I said, you know what? Yeah, okay. So I started selling it at 2 ringgit per cupcake.
Oh.
So you know what I usually do? I come to university, people busy bawa buku sekolah kan. So I'm there with my cakes and everything going to university and I started to sell to all my friends. And then fast forward, when I lived in my condominium as well, I love to join bazaars. So I wanted to call, okay, nak panggil nama Gula Cakery ni. So it all started with, of course, dalam cake kita ada gula. And I want to make it sentiasa manis, right? Takkan garam kan? So I was like, you know what, let's have gula. I think it sounded very catchy. And then it was actually called Gula Home Bakery at first, before Cakery. So because I do it from home. And then fast forward, I was just selling in bazaars after school. During exams, I was also selling and I was doing it with my mom. And then my grandma would be in the stories. So to talk about the recipes, so my grandma has these 4 books of recipe books, okay? So it's all cut out newspapers. You know, orang-orang tua, they have the cut out papers and then
That's how we used to get our everything, from
right?
newspapers.
And then dalam buku 5-5 and the writing is always so nice. So from there, I started to see my grandma how good she is in terms of writing recipes and cut off books and all. So we have the cookies recipes, the cakes, and then you got the savory, and then you got the lauk pauk. So I said, you know what, Nene, this is so amazing. So then I started to use her recipes. But I guess in this baking world, it's not about using the exact recipe. So I started with the normal moist chocolate cake. Do you know how you do that moist chocolate cake back then?
No
you
idea.
You take
I just know how to eat them.
you take cocoa powder, letak susu manis, masak on the stove. I can't use that right now, but that was the back then recipe. So I think that's how it all sparked and started the whole Gula Cakery journey.
And look at you today. How many outlets do you have now?
Okay, so we run 16 outlets now in total. Alhamdulillah, it's not 100 or but I think we've done pretty good in terms of scaling up during the first 10 years. So this is actually my 10th year.
Congratulations.
Now 5 years at home, so a total of 15 years. But I think the 10th year is the make or break. You get what I mean? You know, businesses, the 10th year, whether are you going to scale up or are you going to be stagnant? So I think we are right there right now.
You're in that space. 16 outlets already. Are you spread out around the Klang Valley? Are you further than that?
So I think we have mostly in Klang Valley, but we have one outlet in Malacca. So actually when people ask me, kenapa dekat Malacca, right? And I have no idea myself. But because my husband has a lot of Malacca friends.
I see.
So we started with Malacca first and there's a market for it.
Nice.
You know, so I think everything is in Klang Valley. Seketul dekat Melaka.
Seketul dekat Melaka. Let's talk about the food that you have so fondly been associated with. It's all comfort food. It's sweet cakes. It's the yummy stuff. Why have you chosen to focus on cakes? Because your grandmother's recipe books had savories and all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah.
But you chose to focus on the sweet cakes and
the food
and the meringues and stuff.
Yeah, I think cake, for me, I'm a sweet tooth person, so I love a rich chocolate cake. Who doesn't? I mean, if you're on a diet like me right now, you just want a slice. You're not gonna get a strawberry cake. You want a good, rich chocolate cake, right?
Right on.
So I think in Malaysia, the taste bud of Malaysians is just so broad.
Mhm.
So of course you get the community where you want less sweet, you want the super sweet. And I think that for gula cakery, I've done 200 cake recipes that memang untuk menepati cita rasa semua rakyat.
Semua rakyat.
Semua rakyat, satu Malaysia. So, what I've done is actually kita ada the strawberry fruity base. I've got the chocolatey base.
Oh.
And then you got the nutty base, everything with nuts. And then you got everything with pistachios. And then you got something that is on a spongy side. So, I think when I first started, it was actually with brownies.
Oh.
And back then, brownies was in trend. Kedut-kedut. They call it brownies kedut. I'm not sure whether you're in the...
I am not in the kedut
You
space,
probably
but I'm
say
in the
like,
brownie
what
space.
is kedut, right? But back then, brownies kedut is super in trend.
Okay.
You get the kedut-kedut on top of the brownies. You don't want it to be very cakey. So that was 10 years ago trending things that I've done already. So when I started with Gula Cakery, so I thought I wanted to just sell cakes. But I'm missing out the opportunity to feed people as well. Because then you got to go two places. And KL is super jam. You
Oh,
go to Shah Alam, Klang. I'm from Klang. It's so jam that I think you just need to go to one place. So I have that mindset of like, you know what? Let's just grab the market of hot food and desserts after that.
So you've added that to the
I've
menu.
added that into the menu, and I felt that it's a good combination. At the end of the day, you want to scale up. If you just have desserts, you can, but your sales will not be super high as compared to selling hot food. But it's a combination of comfort food where actually when I did my food recipes, it's over 100 recipes as well. It's crazy. Everything is right here. So we got that 300 recipes with food, cakes, everything in here.
Wow.
But for the food, I love to do something that is not too much of technology that you might get afraid to eat them.
Okay.
But it's not too expensive. So it's on the premium side with good ingredients that I've been fed by my family. Right?
Nice.
And I'm a foodie as well. So I think that's how it all started off. So we call it Gula Cakery, everything under one roof.
So she's got a very sweet and delicious mind at the same time, all spilling out into her recipes. We have also other examples of big brands in Malaysia that have started the same way you did.
Yeah.
So they've started with cakes, and then they went on to add hot food to the menu, and today they're like one of the legends, and you're getting there yourself. So talk to us about strategy, because when you start from your home, your Gula home bakery. It is kind of hard to imagine that one day you're going to scale up to this level. So when did the idea come that, hey, you know what? I think I can do more with my food.
The best part about doing businesses yourself, I have no thoughts at all about, what I could do more. So, when I was 21, when I was doing my classes, I actually went to Malaysian Institute of Baking. So all the akak-akak wanted to learn from me because I brought the brownies kedut. So they were like, sedapnya Nani, apa brownies ni? Akak nak belajar boleh? I'm like, nak saya ajar. We are here in the class learning from a chef and you want to learn from me. So then, I think that was my part of rezeki that I charged per student RM30. RM30 satu akak tau. And I brought over 50 over akak to the house.
Wow.
So my house became a supermarket. Ooh, memang hectic with aunties. So, and then I started to earn money from my baking classes. So the rezeki came differently. It was just not about selling just products. Okay. And then lepas tu, I went to teaching. And then lepas tu, fast forward, I was actually earning 25,000 to 30,000 ringgit a month by doing my classes and selling my cakes. So I was so excited already. Who will not get excited, right? Because every Saturday is my shopping day with my family. Like, dah habis kelas je, I don't go out with my friends. Then I just went. Okay. And then the first outlet I opened up was in 2015. So that is nearby my house, which is in Kota Kemuning, Shah Alam. So that's my flagship store. It looks very rundown right now because it's 10 years already. So that's my baby. So the funny part is, and then I said, okay, let's just work with what we have. Then, but I started to do the branding through strategy through Instagram. I think Instagram was very widely used back then,
Very visual.
15 years ago. Lepas tu nak buat cerita, and then mall, IOI City Mall Putrajaya started to call us to open up a kiosk there. So I was thinking like, should I take that leap, of like opening in a mall? It's crazy, right?
Right.
Second
Rental.
outlet, going into a mall, rental, where's the people? But I was having that thought of like, I need people to know the brand. So then I think the strategy of going into malls right now, it's a good idea that's how I think I could expand to 16 outlets. So I think the first strategy is getting invited by malls. So when they know about Gula Kekri, I get exposure by the malls, the tenants, and also the people. Right? So I think without the malls, I don't think I'll even be here because it's not easy because I got to work harder when I'm in the mall section. Right? It's so expensive, the rent. And I took the leap to open up even in KLCC when they invited us last year. So I think the mall section of keep on getting called to be in malls, I think that is a smart move to get the branding out. So that's the first strategy. And I think second is, of course, the branding of the outlet itself. When I first started, I hired a branding person to do my branding book. I paid him 15,000 ringgit to do my branding book. So from there, I solely focus on ensuring I don't change my brand, I don't change my colors, I don't change my fonts. I really took, like I said, you know what, I'm using this book. So any person that I have hired, this is it.
You read this.
You read this. So I think that was what it all started off with, the strategy as well. So I think from there, it just started to grow, And then in between, we have outlets at shop lots, going by the roadsides. And so it's lesser rent. So it's covered up by the high rent. So I think it's a balance of having both worlds.
All right. So your 16 outlets, are they all franchise? What's the strategy for expansion? Are they all owned by you?
Yes, they're all owned by me and my family. So it turned out to be a family business after all. So I started it myself, and then of course, my parents are my biggest angel investors. So I think it's a family business altogether. I got my sister, my husband. So we call it a family business, but the strategy is just about ensuring that it's solely owned by us at the moment. Because I do believe, like, even in 10 years of the operation, I don't think we are ready to do it franchise or giving it to someone, because I feel the responsibility, tanggungjawab tu sangat berat. Because whenever I take people's money, I think, now it's just answering me, myself and I. Ada duit, tak ada duit? It's just me. Tanggung sendiri. So when you want to have investors, I think probably is above maybe 12 or 15 years down the road. Maybe we could see that opportunity. But at the moment, it's just us. And
that's so humbling, right? To understand that there are business people like you who take it in stride and don't look at expansion within short periods of time.
I think because we can expand, and I'm just so afraid it's going to be diluted somehow. The brand would, some people say Gula Kekri is everywhere. So there's no specialty in terms of people getting excited to go to the outlet. You get what I mean? Because my tagline for Gula Kekri is always crafting sweet memories for every occasion. Because I don't want to change that feeling of it's freshly made, it's customized for people. And I think that's very, very special. Especially now, we are very, very health conscious as well in terms of what we are eating. So I still want to maintain the freshness. And to do that is not easy. Let's talk about the berry pavlova. I'm so afraid it goes to the lorry, tergolek, strawberry on the floor. Who's going to answer to the investors? Let me just answer it to myself when it happens. I will go and send the pavlova myself. So I think being myself still, I still do it my way, but we are expanding. Yeah.
Congratulations on that. That's a very, very dedicated and humbling mindset. What have you got there? Speaking of special, you brought something special.
Of course, I got to bring for everyone right here. So I got my chocolate. Yeah, wait, this is berry pavlova.
Oh, this is the berry.
Yeah, this is berry pavlova, right? Yeah, I think so. Yes. So this berry pavlova, it's one of my best sellers at Gula Kekri. So if you ask Gula Kekri, what's good in Gula Kekri, they're going to say it's my pavlova.
Oh, wow.
So it's crispy meringue and it's less sweet. People might think meringue is sweet, right? Because it's made out of sugar.
Sounds sweet.
Sounds sweet, right? But I think you got to balance it. So I think the recipes that I do, it's always balancing in terms of flavors. So you got to have really good taste bud to ensure that the flavors mix well. And I think it's a very good cake that you're going to try it later.
All right. For the uninitiated, what is a pavlova? How do you make a pavlova?
Yeah, so actually it's just egg whites and sugar. So people are paying for the technique. So
Wow.
it's actually not the ingredients, but people are paying it for the technique. And for me to get this, it took me years to do it,
Ooh.
right? To perfect it, to get the shape, to get it crispy on the outside, marshmallowish on the inside. So I think when I started young at the age of 5, I think it really gave me an advantage to
Oh,
somehow they
wow.
say
You
start
started
young,
at
right?
5.
Yeah.
That's skill. That's some skill. I don't know if there are any 5-year-olds today practicing their pavlova skills, but if you are, you're gonna end up like this.
You
Look at
should
that
see a lot of
success
kids
story.
now baking already. They're all so good. And for me being a teacher, but the best part, I have kids, 7, 5, and 2 at home. I don't bake pavlovas with them. I buy them pre-mix. Because it's
Why?
so much work to bake with them. And every day they're like, Mommy, can I buat cake lagi? Like, nak buat cake. And I just give them eggs. Okay, just crack some eggs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think now every kids are also baking already. So, the world right now has changed into a baking and F&B industry is so widely taken apart.
That's true. So the next part of the questioning will be about competition because you
Okay.
already have this established brand presence. You have a specialty in sweets, and you've added the savory to the menu. So you've got 16 outlets. But seeing the success of your template, I'm sure there are a lot of other brands opening up.
Yep.
Some even maybe close by. So how do you deal with that?
For me, I think competition is good because you open up to more markets and more people. But I think the challenge is about keeping in trend and sustaining the business. So I think the more bakeries yang buka, of course, it reduces the percentage of people coming to my shop. You get what I mean? I think from 100%, 10% started to open more bakery, I'm losing the 10%. So I'm left with 90. And then I'm left with 80%. And then it's 75. And the list goes on when you are actually expanding. But I think it's keeping up with the trend as well would actually help a lot. So for me, when we got viral with our tiramisu, I was actually viral for my tiramisu back then 2 months. It was crazy. My sales tripled
Wow.
for the tiramisu, and that is really organically got viral. It wasn't something that we planned. So I think about jumping into trends are also very important to stay afloat, right? And then I think when we are expanding more, at least we get to capture more market at different regions. And because you can go to cakery there, so you don't get someone driving back to like an hour just to get my cakes. So I think thriving to open up more outlets and being at the front would be an advantage as compared to just having 1 to 2 outlets,
Right.
right? And then I'm keeping in trend. And of course, I think standardizing the quality and also the recipes. So the SOPs are very, very important. I think the strategy with competitions right now, I got to really tighten up on my standards. Because I feel like I have 400 team members that are doing my cakes. I got so many hands. Imagine 400 hands, like everywhere doing my pavlovas. So how do I ensure that the quality remains the same as what I usually do? So I think tightening SOPs, hiring the right people.
Mm.
I think that is another strategy that I feel with competitions everywhere. Hiring the right people is the best decision I've ever made. I've hired really good people, and in FMBs, people come and go, right? Because that 100 ringgit jump in salary, you just lose someone.
Right.
Because FMB, if you're talking about how many restaurants are there in just Shah Alam, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Even in malls. Do you know how
Oh, yeah.
malls are opening up like mushrooms, right? So what I do believe is, you gotta search for the right people that could fit into your brand that really could go far. And I think another strategy having with competitions everywhere is, I think, the personal branding that I do. I think bringing myself and putting my stories there could also be an advantage. I'm still learning and I'm still trying. I'm not saying that is the right decision. I think keputusan yang betul ataupun salah, I don't think there's a right or wrong in doing a business. But I do believe personal branding sets apart from the brand itself,
Nice.
right? Carrying yourself together. So I think the product, the people, the brand, and I think the owners really plays a part in making sure that we could stay afloat and we sustain.
And like I put everything else ahead of yourself. Again, very humble in your approach to everything you do with the business. So we're going to take a short break.
Yeah.
And when we come back, we'll talk finance because I know that's going to be one of the subjects that all our
Goosebumps.
listeners want
Pasal
to know.
duit.
They want to know about it. They don't want to know how you funded all this and transformed from just a home bakery into a 16 outlet strong empire. So we'll be back and we'll be in conversation again with Gula Kekri. Don't go anywhere. Kita kembali dalam We Hear You. Terima kasih kerana terus setia bersama kami dan kita sedang membawa perbincangan menjurus kepada Gula Kekri dan bagaimana perniagaan ini diasaskan dulu. Sebenarnya kita nak berbincang tentang keuangan, tapi sebelum itu saya nak bertanya sedikit tentang resepi mana yang paling digemari oleh anda.
Dia we hear you ke they hear us?
Both.
Kok dah ni lah tak dengar kita cerita kan. Okay, so kalau recipe yang digemari, oh my god, I have so many recipes. I think if I were to list it down dah jadi buku penuh dah, buku cerita. But I think my favourite lah will be the double chocolate hazelnut cake. Oh, that cake is so sinful. Sekarang pun rasa macam pejam mata dah thinking about it. It's so good. It's so chocolatey. Like, you know, usually gula cake ni target market dia perempuan. Not for you. I don't think you eat cakes. Do you eat cake?
I do eat cake.
Is it like gluten-free cake?
No, on occasion. Why do I look okay? Thank you.
I don't know, guys. You look so fit. You might not even eat my cakes. Probably you're not my target market.
I am your target market. Trust me. I'm just trying my best to resist
Yeah,
temptation.
so I think for me, my target market are all the women out there. And you know, dessert spell backwards is stress, right? And stress spells backwards is dessert. So my double chocolate hazelnut cake is the best cake ever. So if you were to go to Gula Cakery, have that a slice. You might not need any other cakes anymore, you know.
Wow, there you go. That's
Jual terus kat sini.
sounds like a recipe for heartbreak, you know?
Betul?
Huh?
Betul. Ya, betul.
Yeah. Yang
Dia
mana
macam
putus cinta.
Dia macam tak payah putus cinta lah. Just had a
Tak payah
bad
putus.
day, you just gonna
Bad day pun dah
bad
cukup
day
lah.
je dah cukup dah. Hari ni bangun tidur I bad mood lah. Gula cakery je.
Because, you know, they say when it's heartbreak time, you dig into the ice cream, kan? But
Correct.
instead of that, I think
Double chocolate hazelnut cake. Correct. And now people kan cepat stress kan. So I think Gula Cakery is the place to go. That's why my sales is increasing. Banyak orang sekarang tengah stress.
Forget scrolling on social media. The dopamine is not enough. This one, the dopamine is very, very enough.
Alright.
Okay, so I wanted to get you in a good mood because
Okay.
we're going to talk about money next.
Takut. Kalau salah cakap nanti. Okay.
Okay, first part, you did mention earlier on that your parents are your
Okay.
angel investors, kan? So that was the biggest investment you got when you started
Okay,
things out.
betul.
But little known fact is actually you use a lot of your own money.
That's right.
So talk to us about how the combination.
Okay, so I think like I said before, biasanya kalau kita nak buka bisnes, orang pertama kita cari adalah keluarga. Jangan cari rakan-rakan, nanti gaduh, dia bukan satu darah. Dia bukan satu darah, nanti dia putus. Kan? So bila kita family, I always said like, you know, I always talk about investors as well. They always say who are your angel investors. They're always your family members. Right? So kita start dengan my family. So I spoke to my dad. Apart from that, when I did my business, when I was earning 30,000 ringgit profit in a month when I was 23 to 25 years old, I actually saved up half of it. Lain tu baru shopping. Okay. Half tu memang I keep. I keep to make sure that I don't know what's going to happen, right? Because I don't know what I wanted to do back then. So that money I use up for my first outlet. Fast forward bila buka kedai, dah tak ada duit. So I had no salary for 9 months. So I was just eating from the outlet, macam ambil ayam masak merah kat kedai. You know, and then just enjoying the opening of the shop with my family. So it's just kita orang masak, kita orang makan. Masa tu costing biasa lah kan. And you know, back then I used to go out to the supermarket buying myself all the products and everything. I do it myself. So and then bila dah buka kedai, when I spent 280,000 for my first outlet, lepas tu I was talking to myself, what should I do next? Sebab duit tu dah tak ada. And then the sales at the outlet, bukan macam I was earning 30,000 back then at home. So sometimes I was just like thinking, is it worth it that I'm doing this outlet? Satu memang sangat penat. You know, I think I lost so much weight back then, not now. Okay, back then. So masa tu kurus tau, 55 kg. Waktu buka kedai boleh lari kan. So I lah yang buat kek, I lah yang masak, I lah yang bila customer datang, Nani tolong masakkan sandwich. I'm like, okay boleh. So I cook the sandwich, I jadi cashier, I jadi barista.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, I think that's a hustle untuk as an entrepreneur, right? And then I was figuring out what do I do. So what I did was, I buka internet, I Google grant dekat Malaysia. I did that. I actually went to SME Bank many times to apply for grants. Kalau teringat the abang that, when I actually went to SME Bank to talk about my grant, he asked me for a business proposal. I said, what proposal? What are you talking about? I have no idea. You nak buku apa sekarang kan? Dia macam, you need to have a business proposal, then you come back. I give you 3 weeks. Okay, so I went back home. I Googled out what's a business proposal. So I did my own business proposal. I went to my sister and we applied for a grant as well from SME Bank. And then lepas tu, I saw Superb Teraju grant as well. So I was actually one of the winners. So I won 500,000 from the government. Alhamdulillah. So that really boosted, how can I say, like it's a tanggungjawab yang I cannot just give up. So when I got 500,000, I got my business proposal that I proposed here. Inilah buku saya. I'm like, apa, threat, SWOT analysis and so on. So I was learning all that myself as well. And then I did that. So that book actually from SME Bank really taught me to bring that book really far to all of my bank loans, to all of my grants. I used that book actually. Lepas tu when I won 500,000, that was the make or break time that I said I cannot give up, right? So I got 100,000 that I borrowed from my dad,
Right.
that I need to pay back every month with no interest. That's the best part.
That's the dad loan.
That's a dad loan, kan orang kata. So lepas tu that 500,000, and from there I think we continued from the sales. Then I continued making my classes, and also from there it all started up to have that 800,000 cash somehow really boosted Gula Cakery back in 2015.
And that's how it started. So it's a hustle from day one, learning how to do a business proposal.
Betul.
And then, entering a competition. I'm sure it's not like you just enter
No,
and
it's
win.
actually 5 minutes, 500,000. Tu kena kerja cakap je dah. I'm just here like all the way. So dia macam kat kedai bebel, kat rumah bebel, kat sini, and then everywhere all I do is I talk. So I learned from my dad. My dad is actually he used to be a radio announcer, back then for RTM. So when I was small, I used to follow my dad pergi RTM dulu untuk learn to see him talk.
Tell us who's your dad. Because
Oh my
I'm
god.
from RTM too.
I'm from RTM, but he is 70.
Okay.
Yeah, so his name is Ken Abdullah. So he does for RTM, and then he's an MC as well. So I think I learned from him.
Okay.
So dari situlah saya belajar untuk bercakap dan untuk masuk ke pertandingan. I think that's where the rezeki comes in as well.
Look at that combination. You know how to cook. You can speak very well, and you're good with money. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to manage the 800,000 in a proper way.
Yep.
And no salary for 9 months. I don't know how many entrepreneurs can actually take
True.
that kind of pressure today, because everybody wants quick wins.
Yeah, and I think that every day when I go through the challenges, right, I think my grandma, she passed away last year, but she always tell me like, rezeki tu selalu ada. So you don't have to worry about kalau your recipe is being taken by other people. It's just a recipe, you get what I mean? At the end of the day, it's your hard work that will make it happen. People can take any recipes. That's why you see recipe books outside, it's being sold. But do you think everyone can bake the cake the right way? Right? Betul tak? Orang cakap recipe tu nampak mudah.
Yeah.
I just got back from Dubai untuk belajar master class, to learn cakes. It took me 3 times already, and I was just sweating trying to make the recipe, but the chef does it just effortlessly. So I think everyone has its own struggle. So you talk about cash flow, kalau kita cerita sekarang, 2 jam tak habis. But I'm waiting for the next question.
Okay. Oh, well, the next question's got to do with the recipe books, because you just opened up that
It's not
chapter,
about
right?
money, berapa profit.
That one with it.
Yeah?
That one with it.
Okay.
Because I think the recipe book thing is a potential business on its own.
Yeah.
We see like Jamie Oliver,
True.
Gordon Ramsay, even, I don't know, maybe Uncle Roger has his own
Betul,
recipe book
dorang,
now.
and they changed their recipes. I mean, they were from the F&B as well, but they did recipe books, and then they do restaurants, and then they closed down restaurants. So I think at the end of the day in F&B, it's about trial. You wouldn't know what fits well. Even Jamie Oliver started with healthy food, for kids.
Right.
It's different already of what he does. So I think if you want to talk about business model in F&B, especially in food, you can try so many channels. Yeah.
And there's this thing called food costs, right? At the end
Yeah.
of the day also,
Oh,
which a lot of
I
people
do this to
don't
my staff
understand.
every day. Macam kena rotan. Okay.
So let's break it down. What is
Okay.
this thing called food costs?
Okay, so usually I did accountings in A levels before, So when I did A levels for accountings, it's never what we're doing now, food costs,
Oh.
It's about debit credit, and I use that a lot right now, right? So I think food cost is whenever we're in the F&B industry, our food cost needs to be at a certain percentage, which is actually 30%. You know, 30% is also really quite high for a F&B tau. So usually a lot of people try to be at 25.
Yes.
Tapi 25 dia orang kata you melantak ke harga tu jual kan, rakyat marah. So we can't do at 25, okay? That's a bit too much for me. Sebab tu I tak kaya-kaya.
Aduh.
I think for all of you, you know. So my food cost is always at 30 to 35%, which I think it's a reasonable number.
Right.
So to do that, for example, if your cake is at 10 ringgit, so your cost has to be at 3 ringgit or 3 ringgit and 50 cents. That's the max you can go. I mean, if your cost bursts at 50%, which is 5 ringgit, ya Allah, habislah lingkup kita gulung je tikar tu terus. Because at 50%, you don't see the hidden cost in F&B. You have your packaging. Ya Allah, kalau everyone take away makanan, every takeaway is 1 ringgit in the packaging. So you don't see that. You see, get what I mean? So don't take away, okay?
No. I'm a eat at the restaurant
Eat
kind
at the
of
restaurant.
guy.
Tak habis, makan juga.
I'm a eat at a restaurant kind of guy.
So for me, taking away food and all that is all the hidden costs that we do. Apart from that, wastages. Hari-hari makanan dibuang. And you know, hari-hari when the food is being thrown away, you cry because it's like, you know, so much
Hard
food.
work.
It's hard work, everything masuk tong sampah. Lepas tu bila nak bagi staff lah, lain pula cerita, dia dah bagi tak tahu yang mana is wastage, yang mana yang kita jual. So of course it has to go to the bin. And that is the hard reality about F&B, yang banyak orang akan sangat sedih bila makanan tu kena masuk ke tong sampah.
Right, especially if your food cost is at 30-35%.
Yeah, so
that's a lot
usually we
high
leave
protein
2%. Dah macam class costing kan? So usually we leave 2% wastage. Alright, and then lepas tu 30% food cost. And I think with that number, most F&Bs insyaAllah kita boleh sustain the business. So that's a good number.
And there's also a reason for it. I mean, kalau kita lihat dalam satu kedai kek tu ada katakan 10 kek.
Betul.
Bukan semua kek tu akan terjual on the same day.
Of course. So kita penat kena upsell tau. If you see me working at my outlets, right, I am a hard upseller person. Hi cik, nak rasa kek ni best seller kita buat ini, kita buat itu. So I would do that. I'm a big believer in upselling. And you know, I always try to do that to all my team members as well. So itulah kalau kita cakap pasal food cost dalam F&B, I think ramai boleh relate dekat sini. Yang food cost is the biggest killer in a business. Kalau food cost you burst, business tak boleh sustain. Dia bukannya pasal overhead ataupun rental. Sebab itu dah memang fix. Takkan kita nak jual tepi jalan pula lagi sebab tak nak sewa. So sewa tu memang ada. Hiring orang kena ada. How we want to do all. Kita ada 2 kaki je kan. So macam mana? So food cost is the killer for all.
So there you go. Ini kelas sedikit lah tentang macam mana nak
I hope
mengurus
you guys
bakery. Sebab kita jarang ada tetamu yang sebegini spontan bercerita. Jadi saya pun nak cuba dapatkan sebanyak mana ilmu yang boleh lah. So resepi dah bincang, food cost dah bincang, macam mana
kita ada buku ni, resepi. Okay, sekarang next kita ada
next kita ada kejayaan. Because you're already at this level, right? Yang mana orang dah tengok and people kenal Gula Cakery. We know your story, we know your brand, we love your food. So what's next?
Okay, so what's next? So my target is actually I won another grant last year actually with Alliance Bismart Channel, Alliance Bismart Challenge. I won 150,000. I was the first runner up as well. Again, it's a pitching competition, so I pitched to investors as well. So I think when I was speaking to the investors, kalau kita nak kata kejayaan, I'm not a big believer in moving everything too quickly. Because dalam F&B ni, it's a very dangerous game. Like I said kan, it's not like you can keep the products lama-lama. So my target is every year I would expand to 3 outlets. So my target is 3 outlets. I think it's quite comfortable. Quarter 1, quarter 2, maybe quarter 4. So I would do that, 3 outlets. And I want to go out from Klang Valley. I want to have outlets in Johor Bahru. I want to have in Terengganu, you know. I want to have in Penang. And I think that bringing Gula Cakery lagi-lagi bila kita ada halal, and I think that I could tap the market there would be an opportunity for me. Lepas tu, a lot of malls are still calling us to open up as well. But macam saya cakap lah, buka dengan mall ni menggunakan sangat banyak-banyak duit. Because the deposits are crazy. You know, when I open up my KLCC outlet, I spend 1.5 million untuk outlet 700 square feet. I think it's as big as this room.
700 square feet
700 je sangat.
1.5 million sekarang dah boleh beli rumah dah.
Correct. So bila kita buka dalam mall, sebab tu I said dalam F&B ni kejayaan kita bukan diukur dengan berapa outlet yang kita ada. To be honest, like I said, bukan pasal berapa outlet. Ada orang yang ada satu outlet pun dah sangat berjaya. They are making 100,000 profit and they're happily ever after with you get what I mean? So sometimes saya tak pernah ukur kejayaan with the number of outlets that I have. I think at the end of the day saya ukur my kejayaan with the sales that I have and the profit that I have. So I think at the end of the day dalam bank tu really matters. So kalau nak cakap kejayaan kan, waktu sebelum viral, we were on a stagnant mode. Okay, so this reality kick in, you know. And I was thinking, what should I do? Sebab Ramadan is the month yang you tak nampak kejayaan. You cuma nampak negative all the way because people don't go to your outlets to makan kan.
Right.
So I was on a negative 500,000 sebulan. How do I get negative 500,000? So I was already at that verge of like, oh, this is the 10th year. I think this is the time. So we were just discussing about the management team like, inilah waktunya whether are we going to make it or not. Kan? So lepas tu, bila viral, it solves everything. The sales, bila kita nampak jualan tu, itulah kejayaan dia. So for me, jangan kira berapa outlet kita ada or jangan kira berapa followers yang kita ada. Even followers dekat Instagram doesn't translate to sales.
Correct.
Betul tak? Diorang follow je. Adakah membeli? Sebab tu investors will always ask me, what is your return customer punya percentage? Because new customers is not enough untuk menjayakan sesebuah F&B outlet. Yang akan menjayakan ialah return customers. How do you want to get that return customers? So I think when I did my pitching, that really shows about, orang kata, the success that I have. When I saw the percentage about how much are my return customers, that shows my kejayaan. You know?
That's very good. That's
Right?
very, very
Yeah.
impressive to say the least, because you are someone who actually takes those numbers seriously,
Yeah.
right? You're focusing on returning customers, which are
Yeah.
definitely
It's
the
very,
bread
very
and butter of
important.
your business now. So on that note, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to wrap things up. And we're going to talk about how you are now an inspiration to all the other entrepreneurs out there watching this episode, as well as following you on all these
Okay.
platforms, and how you seek to inspire the next generation of cakeries. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with We Hear You. Welcome back to We Hear You. Now, in this final portion of our interview with Gula Kekri, we're going to understand more about how they seek to inspire people.
Okay.
16 outlets, growing strong. Nani, so talk to us about how you want to inspire the next generation of cakeries and what you are going to add in terms of value to the younger audience.
I think if you talk about inspirational, I think now we get inspired with everything. And with the social media right now, we tend to easily get inspired, but we tend to easily get disappointed. Betul tak? Macam kita senang get disappointed tau in this era. So I think for me, what can I say to all the young entrepreneurs that wants to be somebody and wants to grow them? And I think number one is about you should never take criticism very seriously, that you take it so negatively, number one. And number two, for me, is surrounding yourself with people who is doing the same thing with you. It's very important that you have to surround yourself with people yang buat business juga. Sebab kalau kita surround ourselves with people that doesn't do business, they will never understand what we're going through. So saya sekarang pun a lot of times I spend my time with entrepreneurs. It really brings a lot of, we share a lot of things together. We share the same headache. We share the same success stories. And I think at the end of the day we can share our ilmu. And I think for me kan, ilmu sekarang ramai orang tak suka membaca. Okay, membaca ni adalah satu struggle even for myself. We like to watch videos. You know, now you see tutorials right now all on videos, right? So I think we have to really watch a lot of things that are relatable to us, right? And never compare ourselves with people yang dah jauh berjaya dari kita. For me kan, I've always had this thing about, if we keep on comparing ourselves with people who are far successful, you're just going to tumble upon in the middle. So I always like to compare apple to apple. So when we talk about, I compare myself to know whether am I being successful or not. Alhamdulillah, I could say among the home bakers, I was the early ones that opened up. I will never compare myself with corporates or you want to talk about Starbucks lah. Apa semua brand ke Pizza Hut ke KFC ke semua lah orang kata secret recipe ke apa. I will never compare myself with them because it's just too far apart. Sebab kita ni bermula daripada
Ground.
bawah, from the ground. Kita korek tanah sendiri and get the ilmu ourselves. So from there, I think even myself right now, I try so much to not watch too many things that that will make you feel uncomfortable. But you have to be uncomfortable to grow, right? But don't watch things that are uncomfortable. You get what I mean?
I think that makes sense. You basically are looking at feed on your social media
Yeah.
platforms, of course, that relate to you,
Yes.
but don't discourage you.
Correct. And jangan bila kita dah rasa selesa, kita tak buat apa-apa. I myself, so many times at the moment of time, kadang-kadang I feel, what am I doing today? Macam free lah hari ni. I get very pelik that I'm free. Macam pelik kan.
That's why you're here today, right?
Ya, macam peliknya. Macam kita free ke ada waktu. So I think, and then a lot of people wants the work-life balance. Ooh, let's talk about this work-life balance on his advice, right? That's why I say work-life balance is such a term that everybody wants it so badly in our life that actually untuk saya, kita mesti integrate segala-galanya dalam satu.
Okay.
Orang kata you boleh nak ada work, tiba-tiba nak balance pun pelik juga sebab takkan tak tahu apa-apa pasal kerja. I think it's all about balancing tu sebab you kena integrate semua. Macam for me, an advice yang I always do kalau saya kerja petang lah, shift saya petang, I would spend my time in the morning doing things that will make me happy. So pagi dah happy, petang kerja, balik tidur. Dia bukannya pagi tu terus dah, whole day and then you're just waiting for another day for you to feel happy, being contented. Kan? So that is, to get inspired with this takes a lot of courage. Sebab I get this courage also a lot of times.
Because you're only human.
Yes, and we tend to feel sad at every situation. We tend to feel frustrated. We tend to feel, and kita selalu fikir pasal duit really makes us stress.
True.
Bila you tak ada duit, you terus rasa you're so discouraged. Sebab tu a lot of people here wants to be business owners because you want to strive to earn more money, and I've been there as well. I'm still at it right now. Kan? So orang kata jualan daripada 30,000 pun jadi 4 juta pun doesn't mean will make you happy. Tapi you have to keep on striving and learning. Learning and learning from the right people.
How did you get financially savvy? Because I think that is so important when you're starting a business.
Yeah.
And you have had this ability to measure what you do with your money. You know that the good times are not always going to be there. And so you've saved up money even from the early days when
Yeah.
you were making 30,000 a month. You had the discipline to put half aside.
Yeah.
How did you get there?
I think it's because you have to see yourself of what you need. Macam apa kita punya keperluan kan. So kita pun ada our commitments, right? And I think at the end of the day, doing business, it's too scary. You might be on top one day and you might just close down and just lipat, tutup semua gulung tikar. So kita tak akan tahu what's going to happen to us. So sebab tu orang kata bila kita jadi entrepreneur ni, kita kena sentiasa bersedia dengan payung kan of what to do. And I do believe that because arwah nenek saya selalu ajar, Nani jangan belanja duit banyak-banyak. And I'm trying to control myself sampai sekarang. Jangan belanja duit banyak-banyak because you never know what's going to happen. So what I did was, now this is an advice that I think it's so important. Saya selalu tengok berapa total saya perlukan duit tiap-tiap bulan. So every 7th of the month, 7 hari bulan, 14 hari bulan, 28, I will see my sales yang saya tengok whether saya dah dividekan dia into that quarter tak, whether I reach or not my sales. So that target is so important because you need to see how much you need to keluarkan duit dah. So kalau in a month saya perlu keluarkan 3 juta duit tiap bulan, so half a month kita dah kena berapa dah? Takkan kita nak ada 1 juta aja? You know you're going to be far apart. You're not going to have enough money. So that's where the targets are very important as an entrepreneur. It's not just running day to day, tak tahu apa-apa, ambil duit. You need to have daily targets, AM target, PM targets. Because if you don't reach AM, you kena buat PM pula. So kalau tiba-tiba you dah hustle dalam kedai tak berjaya, I will go out from my shop and give samples for people as long as I get my sales.
Nice. Wow, that's a very interesting way of
That
thinking
is
of
super.
business.
Orang kata, I really want to try to tell people that you gotta hustle and every second is so important. Masa itu emas. The moment you dah lose the sales, the moment customer complain, The moment customer marah dengan you and your product tak ada quality, you're losing at least RM1,000 because they are telling 10 of their friends.
Yeah, that's
Right?
painful. That's painful.
Berat pula.
So final.
Beratnya. Okay, let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Okay, let's all
go
be happy. Yes, let's.
But we gotta be a bit cautious lah, because this social media game, right? It's kind of
Yeah.
difficult. It's disruptive. It can make or break a business.
Betul.
So a lot of companies out there have already started on social
Yep.
media. They're not actually brick and mortar companies just yet, but they're feeling the pressure of the social media game, as in
Yeah.
bad reviews and things like that.
True.
So how do you advise people
Okay.
on dealing with that kind of situation?
Oh, I think I myself is struggling dealing with complaints every day, but I think in F&B or in our life, we tend to complain every day, right? Oh, we're just not happy with everything, and it's so hard to be happy with setiap benda, and it's lumrah dalam kehidupan yang people will complain. And it took me many years to really understand about customers. So at first, sometimes we get very depressed about customers complaining, especially it's your hard work cooking the food, and they just slam it and said, ni tak sedap. You tak masak, you balik you tutup lah dapur. You get harsh words,
That's hard.
I get harsh words, contoh macam, you memang teruk, you suck, you tak masak, you boleh lah cerita duit banyak kah, bapak bagi duit. So these are all the harsh words that you receive on social media. So the best advice I can say is don't read those really mean ones. But when customers give you criticism about the food, kalau dia lah satu dua complain, kita still boleh, still percaya that your recipe is good. Tapi kalau 80% orang complain, we have to fix the recipe.
Okay.
Right? But kalau satu dua complain, kita move on, because kita tak boleh nak ambil 100% taste bud of Malaysian people, right? Semua orang punya taste bud berbeza. Lidah kita tak sama. So, kita kena fight untuk 80% taste bud. So, don't get discouraged with bad feedbacks or comments, because those are the feedbacks that somehow will make you even better.
Absolutely. So there you go. Learning how to deal with criticism is very important.
Yep.
Also, learning how to strategize your money is important, and hustle based on the different targets that you set for yourself. Those are some of the takeaways that I can summarize. I hope that this has been very meaningful to all of you watching. What is the final, Nani word of wisdom that you
Nani
want?
word of wisdom. Okay.
Nani word of wisdom that you want to share with everyone watching today before we say goodbye?
I think for me, what I can say is, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a person, we need to have the resilience mode in us. To be resilient, it requires a lot of power. Resilient means you can actually take anything that comes to you. So it's not going to be easy, and we have to be consistent. Untuk saya, minat sahaja tak cukup untuk bawa kita pergi jauh. Sebab kita boleh minat hari ni, esok kita dah tak minat. Hari ni kita suka baju biru, esok kita suka baju putih. Hari ni suka makan nasi, esok suka makan pasta. So orang kata minat tu boleh ada hari-hari, boleh hilang hari-hari. Tapi discipline and consistency is the word that I face every day. Nak menjadi consistent, kita perlukan semangat yang sangat tinggi. Kita perlukan jiwa yang sangat kental, sangat kuat, dan kita perlukan support. So find the right support that you have. If those are not the right supports for you, stay away. Get the right support. Be consistent in what you do, because when you be consistent, you can see the result. Macam saya sekarang tengah diet kan, baru 2 bulan. So kita tengah consistent ni. Saya tengah turun baru 2 kg.
Okay.
So I want to be consistent, because kalau saya just minat nak diet, tomorrow I might just eat a burger. So people say consistent, discipline, being resilient will take you a long way in being an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. So much wisdom from this one conversation. Terima kasih Nani kerana sudi bersama kami dalam We Hear You.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope that everyone gets a little bit piece of Nani in them. And also minta maaf for kekurangan yang I've said or anything. I hope that we get inspired with each other.
I think kita dah dapat semua, ketiga-tiga. Idea dah dapat, insight dah dapat, inspiration pun dah dapat.
Alhamdulillah.
Jadi untuk anda yang ingin memulakan perniagaan, saya rasa ini mungkin podcast yang banyak membantu, terutama sekali kepada mereka yang baru saja mengorak langkah dalam dunia ini. So kita inginkan komen daripada anda, hantarkan di ruangan komen di bawah.
Komen
Dan, juga bagi tahu kita
Di bawah.
apa yang memberi inspirasi? Which part of this conversation was the most inspiring one to you? Let us know down below. And don't forget to catch our next episode where we also have an entrepreneur, a leader in the world of business, dalam We Hear You, where we provide ideas, insights, and inspirations all in one conversation. Thank you for watching.
Yay.